or worse. Much worse. I remember that day and the things we talked about even now, and it stayed with me. It was the same old stuff that we always chatted about, but on that day we kept up a constant stream of pointless conversation, because if we kept talking, it might stop us from thinking about what we were going to do. Mostly, I try never to think of the past, and mostly I succeed. But that was just before, and now I almost laugh at my naivety because we had no idea what was in store for us, despite what we were planning to do. We had no clue that our lives were about to change forever, and that it would be the last time that we would ever make that trip into town together. And that after that day, the next time we'd meet would be over 20 years later. Chapter 2. I can't tear myself away from the window, even though I tell myself that someone moving into the house across the street is not that interesting. But still I sit and watch, unable to move, my attention fixated on someone else's possessions. A large cream sofa emerges from the van, and the removal men jolt it onto their shoulders as if it weighs nothing, and then march up to the driveway to the open front door. They struggle when they reach the entrance, turning the sofa this way and that, before manoeuvring it through the doorway. They disappear from view, and I imagine them positioning it in the lounge. The house is larger than ours. It has an additional bedroom and an extra bathroom, and was also for sale when we bought this house 6 months ago. We viewed it, even though we knew we wouldn't be buying it. Brett's salary wouldn't quite stretch to buying it, and having the lifestyle that we're used to. Yet, Brett's confident that within the next 5 years he'll be moving up at work, and then we'll be leaving the street behind for a much larger house with its own grounds. Brett has a life plan, and so far it's all worked out as he's predicted. We sold our London flat for a very healthy profit, even more than we expected. It's impossible not to make a profit in London. It was always the plan to move out of London because Brett doesn't want to bring up a family in the city. He wanted a good-sized house with lots of room and a garden for the children to play in, but not too far away. Brett can be at his desk in central London in less than an hour, and the train station is within walking distance of our house, meaning that he doesn't have to drive. And it wasn't only Brett who wanted to move out of London. I did too, although my reasons for wanting to do so differed from his. The house across the street may be larger than ours, but our house is hardly small. We have 5 bedrooms and a huge ground floor, not to mention a massive garden at the back. The house was perfect when we moved in, as the previous owners had just spent 18 months and over £200,000 remodelling it. We didn't have to pick up so much as a paintbrush. Not that Brett would. He admits that he's not hands-on and would rather get someone in and pay them to do it properly. But there was no need, because everything had already been done. The 3 bathrooms and the downstairs toilet were fitted with new top-of-the-range fittings, as was the kitchen. We have huge, bespoke folding doors that cover one entire wall of the kitchen, and we can open them up when the weather is nice and look out over the garden. I was suspicious that there must be something wrong with the house when we viewed it, because why would they have so much done to it and then move out? It seemed ridiculous to me. Subsidence, I whispered to Brett, as we stood in the kitchen admiring the expensive marble worktops. The estate agent couldn't possibly have heard me, but somehow he knew what I was thinking. Marriage breakup, he announced, was the reason for the sale. The couple had barely completed the work on the house before they divorced and moved out. He was a solicitor, and she was in finance, according to the garrulous estate agent, and weren't we lucky that we didn't have to do a thing to the place? I felt uncomfortable when he told us about their divorce and wondered if there might be some kind of jinx on the house. Brett said not to be ridiculous. They will accept asking price, for God's sake, he said, so why wouldn't we buy it? I can still remember the estate agent's grin as he informed us that the owners were in a hurry, and even though they could get